Congrats on starting the Roots Realty Investor Course. We're going to take you from start to finish on how to go with no knowledge to buying your first property.
I am a real estate investor, but I wasn't always, and it was a bit of a bumpy road for me. But how I got into real estate investing was I started off making very little money as a inner city history teacher, and I was like, dang, I want to build wealth. So the first step I took was to buy a house, and I rented out rooms to my buddies. It was a super cheap house, but I was now cash flowing. I was making money on my primary residence and building equity over time. Well, I ended up selling that house and I had a bit of a financial runway and I decided to get my license. And when I got my license, I was giddy on let's put an offer in, let's buy a property, let's be an investor. And I rushed right into my first investment property. And I decided I was going to learn along the way versus just getting stuck in analysis paralysis. So I bought 2 properties actually, a 4-unit building and then a single family home. Since then, I've now been an agent for investors for over 3 years. I've done now numerous investor deals as an agent, but I've been investing a lot of the profits from that agency business into real estate. So now I have 12 units, which is shocking to me that I've gotten that far, but I've learned a lot of valuable lessons along the way.
My entry into real estate was a little bit different than Tyler's. It wasn't this dramatic leap from quitting my job to hopping into real estate. It actually was found through kind of the scarcity mentality of needing runway. So I got my real estate license with the idea of using real estate as a vehicle, selling real estate as a vehicle to buy real estate, take the commission checks, reinvest back into the market. Well, what I realized is without a network, that is impossible to do. You can't sell real estate if you don't have anybody to sell it to, and you can't invest in real estate if you're not selling any real estate. At least that was my mindset. I wound up actually purchasing my W-2 job, which at the time I was an operations manager of a franchise GNC. Woke up one day, ran the numbers, realized that it would actually be super easy for me to get into, and I had a ton of on-the-job experience and education in the field. So walked into work one day, asked for a raise. The guy said, yep, you are getting paid your ceiling. There's no money that I can pay you extra. I'm like, all right, cool. What's your purchase price to buy the store? And that led me into the franchise world of owner operating a business, which is super interesting. But in the back of my head, I still had this burning sensation of I want to get back into real estate. So how can I stabilize this store so I can walk away, have runway, have cash flow to afford my expenses, and then go and build a network and jump 2 feet into real estate. Had coffee with Tyler and the rest is history.
So when we made Roots Realty, we did not expect to produce, over 25 million in real estate transactions our first year, but we have found there's an insatiable demand for people to learn how to invest in real estate and to partner up with a mentor and a guide. And that's why we're building this course, to help people have a guide to do it with so they can have trust in the actions they're taking.
Yeah, I think along the way, what we found is a lot of these investor agents don't even own a home themselves. And that is like the biggest torturement that out-of-state investors do to themselves. You can perform so well on an intro call and not own a house. But if you've never been through the process of evicting a tenant on your own, how are you going to guide somebody else to buy a house? That's one of the things that we found on the way, right? We were helping people and we build out this network and see who else was playing in the space. And we're like, hold up, I think we're the only ones that have a real estate portfolio that is just focused on helping out-of-state investors, in-state investors build wealth. The others that would be great in the field are stuck in property management. And we're the only ones leading the force in real estate transactions and taking that extra step to counsel, taking that extra step to do free consultation all day long. So through that, hundreds of transactions, we've learned a lot. And packaging this up in the course, there's so much that's going to be learned here. And just kind of going back through the journal of what brick walls we've had to run through ourselves.
So we made this course for people like you, people that are possibly making a lot of money, maybe not making a lot of money yet, but they have money that's piling up in a checking account and they want to deploy it in something other than random stocks. They want to invest in a tangible asset that can produce monthly income and equity gain over time. People that are smart, they're learners. They've been watching YouTube videos on the sidelines for possibly years now, and they're getting that analysis paralysis. This video is for people to jump off the diving board and you're going to jump into the deep end. But luckily, you'll have the lifeguard. This is basically us kind of pointing out, hey, go here. Hey, think about this. Hey, watch out along the way for this problem as you go through that first, again, or maybe second or third investment property.
What I would do right now, watching the introductory video of the course, is write down, I will buy an investment property in 2024. Setting that stage for this is why I'm here, this is what I'm going to do, is going to be the vehicle that drives you through the entire course. Now, setting the stage for the rest of this course, the areas that we think that you're going to grow in the most are, number one, avoiding mistakes. Number two, knowing what your next step is. Number three, focusing on your why. And number four, where to even plant your money and how to actually do it.
We're so pumped for you. We know this is going to be really helpful, and we're excited for you to get in on the action with us. So if you're ready, let's begin.